The 20-year journey of the Golden West College Rustlers under head coach Nick Mitchell has seen the Rustlers program evolve from a team battling on the margins, on the outside looking in on the yearly playoff race, to a scrappy insurgency, challenging perennial playoff powers, to now one of the elite programs in the SCFA. 4 years ago, the Rustlers came within a whisker of a 3C2A championship game appearance, but were turned away at the 1-yard line on the game's final play. 2025 has seen them return with a vengeance, undefeated once again, and now they seek to take that final step that will bring a shot at the first championship in school history. If the story of the Rustlers is an insurgence, then the story of the Saddleback Bobcats is one of resurgence. Under first-year head coach Jeff Fisher, the Bobcats are back in the playoffs for the first time since 2019. They have been nothing short of dominating since the bye week, defeating opponents by better than 30 points a game in the second half of the season. It all culminated with a 30-point win over the defending SCFA champion Mount San Antonio College Mounties a week ago. Now the Bobcats make the short trip up the 405 to Huntington Beach, looking to write their own story and make another emphatic statement that the best team in the South has been in Mission Viejo all along. It's the Bobcats and the Rustlers for the SCFA championship next.
Adios.
Ready?
Saddleback, number 5, Brandon Ross, number 18, Tyler Dutton, number 32, Marvin McKenzie, and number 52, Ryan Carden. For the wrestlers, number 2, Kendrick
Come on
Curtis,
in, introduce
number 3,
yourself.
Brandon Salai, number 22, Dan Mitchell, and number 68, Dallin Sami.
First of all, men, we want to congratulate you guys for being here. It's a great honor to be here and a great honor to what we're doing tonight, all right? So this is the coin right here. This is the shield side is the head side. The other side is the pentagon. It's where the coin actually came from, all right? Saddleback. Saddleback, you are the visiting team. What is your call?
Tails.
Tails is the call. It is heads. Golden West is one toss.
I'd like to defer.
You want to defer to the second half? You're going to take the ball in the first half. Which goal do you want to defend?
I'd like to take it that way.
Kick it that way. Go on that side. Saddleback are on this side. Golden West has won the toss. Has elected to defend.
And we welcome you to Huntington Beach, the SCFA Championship here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Golden West College, undefeated on the season, taking on the Saddleback College Bobcats. The Rustlers won the toss. They will elect to defer, so the Bobcats will be on offense first. Let's step aside very quickly for the national anthem, and then it's kickoff. The SCFA Championship up next.
Just a couple chairs out here.
Good there.
Huh?
I don't know where.
Moments away from the Rustlers and the Bobcats. Down to 4 in the 3C2A championship picture, and in the north, San Mateo getting set to play host to Modesto. And in just a few hours, we will have our our 3C2A championship matchup. The Bobcats will have the ball first, and certainly last week in that furious fourth quarter assault by the Rustlers in the victory over the Pirates, special teams played a big part. Another big return, this time from Faulkner, and a touchdown return that helped get the Rustlers back into that one, got them within 3. It was the third big return in the game for the Rustlers, but the Bobcats themselves very dangerous on returns this season. They are also top 10. Roman Harden and Jagger Blaukamp back deep, and Blaukamp averages a little better than 30 yards a return on the season. So while we talked about kick returns for the Rustlers certainly a week ago, they have to be very concerned, as this is a dangerous team on returns themselves. It's Harden who will handle the opening kick, tripped up just past the 25, out to the 26-yard line. We'll see freshman quarterback Tyler Dudden and the Bobcat offense that will be led by Kavon Clark. Clark with 952 yards rushing on the season. This yet another top rushing offense for the Rustlers, who have now seen 6 of the 8 top rushing teams in the SCFA on their schedule here in 2025. So far, they've had the answer against the other 5 of those top rushing teams. Will they have the answer today? That's what we'll find out. Dudden comes out flanked by Clark to his right for this 1st and 10 play. And they'll start with Clark running left, going to be hit for a loss. Josh Clark flying into the backfield, a loss of a yard for Clark as he sought to take this one out to the left, tried to cut it back, but there is Clark waiting. Interestingly, the Bobcats try to gain the edge quite a bit on most of their rushing plays, utilizing the tight end in the blocking scheme quite a bit. And that time it looked like Clark was looking for the edge, tried to cut it back now, bounces it to his right, slips out of a tackle, pushed out of bounds, out past the 30. So a good individual effort from Kevon Clark to make something out of nearly nothing, getting to the edge and just enough on that push from all-conference defensive tackle Dalen Sauni. And that's a good indication of the kind of speed of the Rustler defense. That's an interior defensive lineman, Sauni, able to string that play out and get just enough of Clark to push him out of bounds. The short throw on third down going to be well shy of the marker, and the Rustlers get the immediate 3 and out on the opening possession as they look to screen it out to Clark. And not much doing as 5 black jerseys quickly upon Clark. No chance, and we'll see the punting unit. Ethan Schwartz averaging just under 38 yards a kick on the season. Will punt this one from about his own 20. Gets it away. End over end kick will take a Bobcat bounce inside the 30. Schmidt going to let that one go, and they'll touch it down at the 26. That's a 43-yard effort for Schwartz, and we'll see the Rustler offense. And that will be quarterback Kanaoa Kamakavivo Ole, who has come on and had a sensational freshman campaign for the Rustlers, completing 68% of his passes for just under 1,700 yards, 22 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That touchdown number swelled quite a bit a week ago as Owa went for a season-high 5 touchdown passes in the 56-38 win over the Pirates in the semifinals. They'll screen it out on first down for Mitchell, and Mitchell cut down shy of the 30. Brought down by Lucas Short. Mitchell picks up 3 yards, brings up a 2nd down and 7. Three wide receivers for the Rustlers. Tanner Schmidt solo to the left. He has been caution flammable over the last month. 4 of his last 5 games going for better than 100 yards, but this pass over the middle is incomplete, as the pass intended for David Daniels. And ultimately, it was Dominic Lopez who had the best shot at it, but couldn't secure it. And quickly, a 3rd down for the Rustlers, who come in converting on 3rd down at 44% for the season. This is a 3rd and 7. Snap to Owa, blitz coming, good protection. First catch for Schmidt. Out past the 40 to the 44-yard line, good for a 1st down. Schmidt last week, 10 catches, 147 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And that's just more of the same from the last month from Tanner Schmidt. And the give straight up the middle. Mitchell on the carry, a good push on the interior of that Golden West offensive line, and that means all conference standouts Enoki Samita and Lihanu Atuatasi both getting a very good push for 6 yards. Brings up a 2nd down and 4. Talked to Nick Mitchell this week, and going back to talking about Tanner Schmidt and wondering how is he able to continue to get so open as he was repeatedly over the last couple of weeks. Surely defense is now very aware of Tanner Schmidt, and in addition to the outstanding route running from Tanner Schmidt and the ability to get separation, Nick Mitchell saying, hey, listen, it's about some of the other guys as well. Our ability to run the ball, guys like Will McKissick, Dom Thompson making plays, and right now Tanner Schmidt still seeing a lot of single coverage. And he's able to beat that one-on-one coverage repeatedly as he's done. over the last few weeks. McKissick with that reception for another first down as the Rustlers move it into Bobcat territory at the 44. Quick slant to Daniels, makes a little move at the 35. That'll free him up all the way into the red zone. Daniels for 25 yards to the Bobcat 19. Watch the move here from Daniels. Slips away. The Bobcats without standout safety Noah Luganbill. Luganbill battling an MCL injury over the last couple of weeks. Already committed to South Dakota State, and so not going to appear today. But the Bobcats very deep and talented in the secondary. Quick throw on the slant. Goodwin picks up a block inside the 15, weaving his way forward down to the 10-yard line. 13 yards on the completion to Goodwin, who was held without a catch a week ago, but picks up the catch here for another Rustler first down. They're working their way down the field. This drive started back at their own 31-yard line. Mitchell with receivers left and right gets the call. Straight ahead, dragged down by Gavin Plum. Plum, another all-conference standout for the Bobcats defensively, leads the Bobcats with 5.5 sacks on the season. The Bobcats very effective, bringing pressure on the quarterback. 31 sacks as a team. That is good enough for third in the SCFA. And so far, the Rustlers have been able to protect Kamakaviva Ole on this drive. It's a 2nd and goal from the 8. Blitz coming again. Owa, pop flies. Daniels open and it's incomplete. Boy, David Daniels all alone. There's some miscommunication. There you see Jacob Sekioba, and he drops off. And no one goes with Daniels. And a real rarity, as Owa just missed a wide open receiver. Daniels can't secure it. And a 3rd and goal from the 8. Mitchell will remain in the backfield. They'll send 3 wide receivers to the near side. Keep an eye on Schmidt in the slot. Play action, throwing, and dropped by Goodwin. The coverage was outstanding from Lucas Short. It's a tough ball to squeeze in. I don't think Goodwin's going to get in, even if he makes the catch. That will bring up 4th down, and we'll see Mateo Zavala. If there has been an area of some concern for the Rustlers, it might be right here. They are just 3 of 12 as a team on field goal attempts for the season. And Zavala, who's got plenty of leg, just struggled at times with accuracy, but punches this one through. Zavala drills it from 25 yards out. The Rustlers draw first blood. 9:11 to go in the opening quarter. We're just underway. The SCFA Championship, Golden West and Saddleback on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Arguably, it couldn't go any better in the first nearly 6 minutes if you're the Rustlers. Not only do you get the stop and the drive, but you get a confidence builder of sorts for Mateo Zavala, who knocks the field goal through in a game that very possibly could come down to a single possession. Meanwhile, Hardin, a short return, and we'll see the Bobcat offense for the 2nd time. Hardin did get it out to the 25 with 9:03 remaining here in the opening quarter. Well, 3 touches for Kevon Clark on the opening possession, but just 4 yards and a punt for the Bobcats. We will certainly also see Darian Campbell today as well. As good as Clark has been, approaching 1,000 yards, but Campbell also over 5 yards a carry for 445 yards. And this a quick look in as well at San Mateo and Modesto in action in the north, and we'll try to keep you updated on that game as well. Inside handoff, nothing doing, a loss on the play, and it is the first carry for Darian Campbell. Meanwhile, a Rustler player slow to get up, but now getting up, and again, that one well diagnosed, and Brandon Soleau, who is so often around the football, able to get there. 3 outstanding sophomore linebackers for Golden West, really leading this defense. Cruz Wheeler, Josh Clark, Brandon Soleau, and whistles on the snap. Gonna blow this play dead. The Bobcat offensive line has had a tremendous season. The numbers bear that out, but also 3 all-conference selections on the first team, as well as a second team selection for Greg Shade, who also appears in this lineup. But Ryan Carby, a first team selection, along with Talaniano and Nicholas Brown on a very, very strong offensive line. The throw complete on the far side. Gain of about 5. Dudden finding Nicholas Gentilella, and Gentilella with his first reception here today, and Wheeler and Clark combining for the stop. Brings up a 3rd and 12 for the Bobcats, who convert at 43% on 3rd down this season. But this a 3rd and long. Deep drop for Dudden. Flushed from the pocket. Dudden on the move. Tripped up at the 25. And Dudden, who is so dangerous running the football, can't get away from Kakama Kozma. And Kozma gets just enough. Well, we saw the speed from Sauni stringing out a play on the first possession for the Bobcats, and there Kozma in pursuit, able to get to Dudden, and Nick Mitchell was very concerned about Dudden's ability to extend plays and pick up yardage running the football. But Kozma able to track him down. The kick from Schwartz takes a Golden West bounce out near midfield. They will down it at the 45. 31 yards on the punt. Let's watch here as Dudden still looking downfield, but Kozma able to just get enough and trip up Dudden. Back-to-back 3 and outs for the Bobcats, who have been putting up numbers in prodigious amounts over the last 5 weeks. Nearly put 60 on the board last week in the win against Mount Sac. But last week reflects another theme here today, and that is just how dangerous the Bobcats can be in short order. For those who may have missed it, it was a 21-14 game with less than 10 seconds remaining in the first half. Owa looking deep. Schmidt double covered, but he comes down with it. Tanner Schmidt bracketed on either side, able to come down with the football. Watch here again as Harden, along with Iman Carter, but it's Schmidt in between with the reception, back into the red zone at the 17-yard line. 38 yards on the completion. Kendrick Thomas with his first carry, and again following Samita straight up the middle for 8 yards. Let's take a look down at field level. Well, we've been talking about how Schmidt hadn't been seeing a lot of double coverage. There he got it, but it didn't matter. Able to just rip it away from Carter. 7 yards for Thomas. Bouncing it to the outside. Thomas at the 5. Reaching out for the pylon. Didn't quite get there. Did pick up enough for the first down. Going back to a week ago. Final play of the first half. the Bobcats get the Hail Mary. Wow, Thomas might have gotten it. Got to the pylon, doesn't get the call. Our referee today, David Garza, with the call and the penalty against Golden West. So that'll wipe away the first down run for Thomas, and instead it will be 2nd and long. And on the interior of that offensive line, might have caught it right there. But the Hail Mary to Gentilella on the final play for the Bobcats pushed the lead to 28-14. Then the Mounties took a gamble to start the second half, going for the onside kick. Didn't get it. The Bobcats take advantage of the short field, and in just a couple of minutes, it had gone from 21-14 to 35-14. Owa slings on the far side, looking for Schmidt, coming back for the ball. Short of the first down marker. And the sure hands of Tanner Schmidt leaves a 3rd down and 4 from the 12. So this a Bobcat team that can strike in a hurry. And right now the lead is 3-0. Here as the clock moves, 4:52 and counting remaining in the first half, but the Rustlers in striking distance once again. Owa looking, throwing, and Schmidt a late break, and it's incomplete. Let's watch it one more time, and this one comes out a little early, and Schmidt over there matched up with Cedric Dunklin. The pass incomplete, and here comes Zavala. So if you're looking for some good news, if you're a Bobcat fan, a couple of times in the red zone, and the Rustlers, who have been among the best in the SCFA at converting red zone opportunities for touchdowns, have been turned away twice. The first time Zavala converted the field goal, and the second time Zavala puts it through again from the right hash. Couple of short field goals for Zavala, 4:37 remaining in the opening quarter. The Rustler lead is 6-0 at the SCFA Championship here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Nothing the lead for Golden West. Zavala will tee it up, and the Bobcats still looking for their first down. Will have the ball for the 3rd time. High end-over-end kick, taken at the goal line by Hardin, weaving his way out past the 20, but hit at the 22 and driven back. The Rustlers fired up, and so far they have held Hardin and the Bobcat return team relatively in check. Out to the 24 for Hardin. And here comes Dudden. Come out with receivers left and right. Kavon Clark just 48 yards away from 1,000 yards on the season, but if this season so far has been any indication, it's going to be a hard 48 yards to get. In fact, amidst this gauntlet of great rushing teams that the Rustlers have faced on the season, the most any back has been able to come up with was 63 yards by Giselle Riley for College of the Canyons, and most of that came on a 58-yard run in the 58-14 win for the Rustlers back on November 1st. But they have held a veritable who's who in the SCFA to limited yardage on the ground throughout the season. The short completion, good for perhaps a yard. 2nd down and 9 as they will wind the clock. Snap to Dudden. And they fake to Clark, go to Gentilella for 8 yards, leaving a 3rd and 1. A little misdirection. 2nd catch for Gentilella, working against Drew Faulkner. All-conference standout for the Rustlers. 1 of 7 all-conference selections on the first team from the Central Conference. And Clark hit behind the line. Soleo and Wheeler getting there quickly and holding him short of the first down marker. And it brings up a 4th and 1 from the 33. And here comes the Bobcat punting unit. Well, that has to be deflating for Saddleback, who has run the ball so well all season long, averaging better than 5 yards per carry, 5.5, and 233 yards a game on the ground. Needed 1 yard there. With an outstanding back in Kevon Clark, but can't get it as they kick it away from Schmidt and out of bounds. And the Rustlers will get it back late stages here in the first period, already on top 6-0. Let's take you back a week ago. This, after a pick 6 for the Pirates, saw Ventura up 31-21. The Rustlers needing an answer, and they get one right away. And Faulkner makes the big play on special teams. But in that 4th quarter, the Rustlers in all phases. Kamikaviva Ole with 3 touchdown passes in the 4th quarter on a 35-point run. Soleil with a pick 6. Meanwhile, on a screen, big play for the Rustlers. There are flags down, but this one going to the house. Let's wait and see on the flag. J.D. Alisea, who's missed the last few weeks with an injury. What a return that would have been, but it looks like this one going to be coming back. Let's wait on the call from David Garza. It would have been 60 yards. Let's watch one more time here and see if perhaps there was a hold out front. McKissick and Schmidt. Well, I didn't see a whole lot on the blocks by McKissick and Schmidt. Not that I should be the final arbiter of such things. Far from it. And right now, it's still 1st and 10 on the scoreboard. Meanwhile, what a return almost for J.D. Alisea. 2nd leading receiver on the season when he left the lineup a few weeks ago. And one more weapon. David Garza with the call. And get the word here, they can't say that he stepped out of bounds. What's the call? Well, right now, the word that we're getting down on the field is that the call was that Alisea stepped out of bounds. And that is hard to imagine. As we see here on the replay, he's 5 yards off the sideline. 1st and 18, but they did back it up 8 yards. So I think they might have called that he was out of bounds, but either way, there was also a holding call. So that's an important part of the story that should be mentioned, that even without that call, it was still coming back via the holding call. Meanwhile, an incompletion leaves a 2nd and 18. So the Rustlers hurting themselves with some penalties early. The holding call on the run by Thomas negates a run that would have taken it down inside the 1. That leads to a field goal, and another holding call as McKissick makes a move at the 35. Now spins his way forward to the 43. That gets back the penalty yardage and leaves a 3rd and 7. But the holding call perhaps robs the Rustlers of a good opportunity for a touchdown on the previous drive, and now a holding call on the completion to Alisea does take a touchdown off the board. So a couple of costly penalties for the Rustlers, and now they face a 3rd and 7 with 2 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. 3 wide receivers to the right as Oa looks over the Bobcat defense. 4-man rush. Oa sets and fires on the far side, completes near the marker, slipping out of a tackle. Schmidt, should say back to Alisea over on the far side, has enough for a first down. Another 3rd down conversion for Golden West, but we do have a flag down again. Luke is short eventually with the tackle, and another penalty on the Rustlers, and penalties rapidly becoming a storyline for the Rustlers here in this opening period. As another costly penalty, this one takes away a first down and leaves a 3rd and very long, a 3rd and 17, as the ball moves back to the Golden West 33. Do have an injury down on the field. We'll step aside. 6-0, the Rustlers with the lead, 1:36 to go in the opening period. So a 3rd and 17 for the Rustlers from their own 33. Schmidt in the slot on the left. Oa with the snap. Bobcats send 4. Completion out past the 40 to the 45. Now near midfield in the first down marker. Joe Hagel with the reception, and he needed another 6-7 yards after this catch. But watch here as he picks up a block from Dom Thompson and able to circle to the outside and move the chains to the Bobcat 49. That's a killer for Saddleback as they had the Rustlers on a 3rd and 16, but Golden West picks up the first down. Now 1 of 4 on 3rd down. Arjuan Morris with the carry, off tackle on the right side, and Morris for a gain of about 3. Arjuan Morris, 3rd leading rusher for the Rustlers, a bounce back from Sacramento State. Nick Mitchell talking about getting Arjuan Morris, said that was a real boon. And Arjuan Morris had done a great job at Sacramento State. Coach for Sacramento State indicating that Arjuan Morris just part of a very, very crowded backfield and not a lot of carries for him, and just looking to make a change. And Morris has come here to Golden West and found a home as part of a trio of backs that have done a great job all season long. 2nd and 7 when we return for the second quarter through 1. Golden West on top 6-0. It's the SCFA Championship on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Start of the second quarter for the Rustlers. And a 2nd and 7 from the 46. 3 wide receivers to the left as they overload the far side. They'll keep it on the ground on the right side. Morris bounces it to the outside. Inside the 40, whipped out of bounds. Inside the 35, flags are down on the run by Arjuan Morris. Tracked down by Zach Ballo. And Ballo finishing the job out of bounds. And the call gonna go against Golden West, and another holding call erases a positive gain, this time from Morris, who had enough for another first down, and the Rustlers continue to dig themselves a hole with penalties. One more look at it. And McKissick on the hold. Second and long. The ball is loose in the backfield, and Owa able to fall on it. Both of these teams have been outstanding on turnovers this season. The Bobcats plus 13 turnover differential. The Rustlers plus 17, and alongside that, these are the top 2 teams in the SCFA in defensive touchdowns. The Rustlers with 9, the Bobcats with 6. So it's a couple of big play defenses. So far, no turnovers on either side. Meanwhile, 3rd and 21 after the bobbled snap. And the Rustlers, not a lot of good options. They'll send the blitz. Owa hit as he throws, completes the pass to Schmidt. Schmidt slips out of a tackle and has enough for the first down. Well, Owa paid the price. Let's watch here as Gavin Blum in his face. But Owa stands in and finds Schmidt. Schmidt brought down by Dunklin, but not before he has enough for a first down conversion on a 3rd and 21. Arjuan Morris continuing to carry the load on this drive. Finds good running room on the left side following Cam Shepard and Dylan Bunbury. 9 yards for Morris and a 2nd and 1. As Morris will remain in the game. Receivers left and right. Blitz coming. Owa flushed from the pocket, circles to the outside, and has enough for the first down. Ballo chased him out of bounds, but not before Kamakaviva Ole picks up a couple of yards and moves the chains. 3rd trip into the red zone in a first half thus far being dominated by the Rustlers. So far, a couple of field goals and a 6-0 lead. Counter to Morris on the left side, following Shepard once again, and a pickup of about 5 as they play through the whistle. Morris driven back, but with forward progress gets it inside the 15, down to the 14, 6 yards for Arjuan Morris. Morris 25 yards on the ground last week in the win against Ventura. Has seen his role diminish somewhat with Mitchell and Thomas having outstanding seasons, both over 600 yards rushing on the season. And as we talked about, Owa completes down to the 10. McKissick gonna walk it in for a Rustler touchdown. And Golden West extends on the lead. Well, you have the feeling that this was set up somewhat by the good job running the football and some of the work from Arjuan Morris, but McKissick open on the right side and has an easy trot to the end zone. First Rustler touchdown on the day as Kamakaviva Ole finds McKissick for the touchdown pass. Extra point is good 11:40 remaining in the first half. It's all Golden West. Rustlers on top 13-0. It's the SCFA Championship on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Well, if last week was something of a statement for the Bobcats, a 30-point win against the defending SCFA champs. So far, the statement today being made by the Rustlers is Harden on the return. Held short of the 25. And again, not much doing on the return, but 3 possessions for the Bobcats without a first down. And meanwhile, the Rustlers, on their first 3 possessions, have put points on the board. A couple of field goals, and now a touchdown pass from Kamakaviva Ole to McKissick. Going to step aside from Huntington Beach, 13-0, Golden West on top. On 21. Rustlers now down 10, deep kick, and another good return. Out to midfield, Faulkner down the far sideline. He gets through, he's gone. What an answer. Oh, wow. Backhand for Hanley. The Rustlers take the lead. But this is going to look eerily familiar for those in the Vikings. It's going to go down as a 2-goal game. It was another very close contest, but the Rustlers stay on top in the 3C2A men's water polo landscape. Another championship coming back to Huntington Beach. Mason Dreifel helped to his feet and off the field under his own power. Meanwhile, a first down carry for Campbell and a modest gain. In fact, Campbell did well just to get back to the line of scrimmage, leaving a 2nd and 10. And the Bobcats likely shell-shocked here for the first 19 minutes. They have had it going their way for nearly the entire season, particularly the last 5 weeks. But in a struggle here, and Dudden cut down, but does find good running room, and this is what Nick Mitchell was concerned about, was Dudden's ability to run the football. 55 yards in the win against Mount Sac a season ago. And here finds as much running room as the Bobcats have had all day. And has enough for a first down out to the 33. Dudden with 335 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns for the season. Meanwhile, we do have a Rustler player down on the far side. We'll step aside for an injury timeout. 11 minutes remaining in the second quarter, and Golden West on top, 13-0. news goes from bad to worse for Saddleback as they lose the yardage on the Dudden run. Too many men on the field, the call. A 5-yard penalty. Saddleback now facing a 2nd and 15. Well, the Rustlers have struggled with penalties in the opening quarter, but it's the Bobcats who arguably have struggled with penalties over the last several weeks. Not that it's hurt them on the scoreboard. Double-digit penalties in each of the last 5 weeks, but no problem. They continue to dominate the action on the field. A sack for the Rustlers, going to produce a 3rd and very long as Rob Andrus comes on the corner blitz, able to beat the block and get to Dudden. And again, this a signature play of the Rustler defense. Andrus coming off the edge so quick and gets to Dudden. A loss of 9 brings up a 3rd and 24 for the Bobcats, who now operate in the shadow of their own goalpost, back inside their 10-yard line at the 7. Deep drop for Dudden, good protection, throws over the middle and it's incomplete. He was looking for Kyle Bale, and the pass incomplete. Brings up a 4th down. Clark on the coverage. There are flags down. And a personal foul call against Golden West. And in a first half in which the Rustlers have set themselves back with penalties, arguably none bigger than that one potentially. A full-on lifeline for the Bobcats, who instead of punting from their own end zone, get 15 yards out to the 21 and a fresh set of downs. That's their first down today, and it comes via penalty. Dudden under pressure, just slings for the far side, and the pass incomplete. Looking for Joseph Walter. Pressure coming that time from Javon Taylor. Taylor had a huge play in the win against the Pirates last week. Recovering a fumble by Brayson Leon, with the game still very much in doubt in the 4th quarter, as Taylor brought the pressure, got to Leon, and then recovered the fumble. 2nd and 10. Blitz coming. Dudden going over the middle, and the pass incomplete, looking for Gage Galbraith. Soleil had the coverage. Galbraith looking for the flag. And flags are down. Well, Galbraith, an interesting story as well. First team all-conference selection for Galbraith, who had just 5 catches on the season, but really has proved his worth in the blocking scheme, where the tight ends are used extensively by the Bobcats, and Galbraith's so good in the run game that he earns an all-conference selection. Another penalty on the Rustlers, who are piling them up here in the first half. Campbell looking for the edge, slowed and then forced out of bounds. Faulkner moving up, gets just enough to force Campbell outside. Soleil finishes the job. No gain for Campbell, and a 2nd and 10. I mentioned how the Rustlers have done facing 5 of the top 8 rushing offenses in the season. These are all teams averaging better than 200 yards on the ground. Collectively, those 5 teams this season averaging 92 yards a game and less than 3 yards a carry when they go against the Rustlers, and it's been more of the same today so far against the Bobcats. Quick out for Gentilella. Has the reception out to the 42. 11 yards for Nicholas Gentilella, who is rapidly becoming a favorite target of Tyler Dudden. Touchdowns in 3 of his last 4 games, including the big reception at the end of the first half that pushed the Bobcat lead to 14 en route to the big win in the South semifinals last week. Meanwhile, the penalties for the Rustlers extending this drive that now is out near midfield. Dudden tripped up, just gets the ball out. Dalen Sauni giving chase once again, and Dudden does well just to get rid of the football rather than take the loss. Well, statistically, it had been the Bobcats who had been successfully pressuring the quarterback all season long, but so far today, credit to that Rustler front seven. And Rob Andrus, I suppose, who just had a sack earlier in the drive, as they have been able to consistently get to Dudden and bring the pressure. 2nd and 10 from the 42. 8:17 remaining in the second quarter. Keep it on the ground. Campbell breaks a tackle at the 45, squirts his way out to the 49 of Golden West, about a half a yard short of the first down. The Bobcat fans who have made the trip starting to make some noise. Really the first time today that they've been able to get excited. Campbell picked up the full 10 yards and immediately moves the chains. 1st and 10, the Bobcats for the first time today are in Golden West territory. Dudden looking deep, open, caught inside the 20. Nico Lopez, the sophomore tight end out of Rancho Santa Margarita. And no one picks him up. It's Jerome Lilio that tracks him down. Lilio going to see a lot more action today with the injury to Nigel Mills. Talk about that more in a moment. First down carry for Campbell, who loses his helmet. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Soleil ended up with the helmet after he got a lot of Campbell to slow him down. 2nd and 10. Nigel Mills, who has been a standout in the Rustlers secondary throughout the season, injured late in the regular season finale against Fullerton. And now Lilio steps into a much bigger role here today as they lose Mills. But Nick Mitchell, very effusive in his praise, says Jerome Lilio putting in the work throughout the season, and very confident in the job that he's going to do stepping in for Mills. Meanwhile, it's the Bobcats on the move, with the Rustlers leading it 13-0. 7:15 remaining in the first half. .21. Rustlers now down 10 deep. Kick and another good return. Out to midfield. Faulkner down the far sideline. He gets through. He's gone. What an answer. West Valley.
Oh, wow.
2nd and 11. After Campbell lost a yard, Kevon Clark back in the backfield for the Bobcats. They have it at the Golden West 15. Clark cuts it back, finds a lane, he's inside the 5. Clark in for a touchdown. 15 yards, and the Bobcats on the board. And you have to think back to a couple of costly penalties for the Bobcats on that drive, and the shifty running of Kevon Clark gets the Bobcats on the board. And you cannot give a team like this any second chances, and the Rustlers did it a couple of times on that drive, and the Bobcats made them pay as they get the big completion to Lopez, and then Kevon Clark finally finds a little running room, working on the left side following Tyrone Portis and Nicholas Brown. And they spring him for 15 yards and a touchdown. Manuel Maganda on for the extra point, back to a one-score game, 13-7. 7:08 remaining in the first half on SoCalCollegeSports.com. and alive looking. Up in San Mateo in a 7-0 lead for College of San Mateo. The defending champs looking to make their way back and vie once again for a state championship. They'll have to make the trip down south this time. Will it be Golden West or Saddleback who will occupy the spot as the SCFA champion? Midway through the second quarter, 6 penalties for 63 yards for the Rustlers now in the first half. And give a lot of credit to the Bobcats, who had to be a little rattled against this Rustler defense early. But they get another chance. Faulkner on the return, slipping out of a couple of tackles, out past the 30, still fighting his way forward. Out near the 35. Watch here on the replay. Breaking tackles. There's another flag down. Now, it looked like Faulkner might have stepped out of bounds on that play, ironically. Doesn't look like it was called. But let's sort out the flag and our referee, David Garza. And this one again going against the Rustlers. It's a dead ball foul, so a lot of the good work done by Faulkner going to be erased. And instead, Golden West will start just inside their own 20-yard line, now leading at 13-7. And coming up at the half, we will have a conversation with both school presidents. Here in attendance today, Meredith Randolph from Golden West and Elliot Stern from Saddleback College. Mitchell on the left side, able to shed a tackler in the backfield and pick up a couple of yards out to the 22. Brought down by Losefa Tepeni and Marley McKenzie. Tepeni, second team all-conference selection on that deep and talented Bobcat defensive line. Mentioned Gavin Blum already. And Blum, a first team all-conference selection. Back to Mitchell. Again, hit at the line, manages to churn his legs, and with second effort, he's out to the 28. Good hard running from Aaron Mitchell. 6 yards, leaves a critical 3rd and 2. There is Mitchell, able to work his way free from McKenzie before Lopez finally able to drag him down. But this a big opportunity for the Bobcats to potentially seize on this momentum. 3 and out would be huge. Meanwhile, for the Rustlers, need to convert here, continue the drive, and quell some of that same momentum. Go back to Mitchell. Good hole up the middle. Mitchell into the Bobcats secondary. Bouncing off tacklers. He's out near midfield. Into Bobcat territory at the 46. 25 yards on a 3rd and 1 from Aaron Mitchell. That's big for the Rustlers. It continues the drive, moves it into Saddleback territory. Under 5 minutes to go in the first half. And it's a Bobcat team that has struck quickly and often throughout the season. And they were looking to get the ball right back, but denied. The Rustler running game, Kendrick Thomas, meanwhile, on the first down carry, picks up 5 yards. Leaves us 2nd and 5. Down to the Saddleback 41. And the Rustlers content to work the clock against the top 3 offenses that the Rustlers have faced this season. Fullerton, Riverside, Ventura. Interestingly, the Rustlers really able to control the football and the clock better than 32 minutes time of possession in each of those wins. And against Riverside and Fullerton, the number was closer to 36 minutes. And you could be sure that that was certainly the goal here today. Best way to slow down the Bobcat offense is to keep them on the sidelines. That's where the running game has been so critical all season long. For Golden West, another big 3rd down. It's a 3rd and 2 with Thomas in the backfield. From the Bobcat 33, play action, quick throw. Catch is made. Alisea with the reception at the 31-yard line, 7 yards, and a 1st down for Golden West. Well, after Mitchell ripped off the chunk gain on a 3rd and 2, they go to the play action. And Owa finds Alisea. Thomas bouncing it to the outside now, tries to cut it back. Nothing doing, gets back to the line of scrimmage. Luke Averell, another outstanding defensive lineman for the Bobcats, in the backfield quickly and manages to corral Thomas. No gain, a 2nd and 10. But the Rustlers chewing up some clock on this drive that started back on their own 20-yard line. There is a good look at Kanaoa Kamakaviva Ole. 12 of 17 in the game so far. 3 wide receivers to the right. Owa on a designed roll. Looking deep into the end zone, complete for a touchdown to Tanner Schmidt. He was working against Lucas Short, and Short went down, and Schmidt brought it in for the touchdown. The Rustlers answer back, and with that touchdown reception for Tanner Schmidt, he's now 2nd all alone in the SCFA with 16 receiving touchdowns on the season. Let's watch one more time. Owa on the run, and it looks like Short, that might have been, well, I don't want to speculate too much, but the dreaded non-contact injury, lower leg. We're not going to speculate any further than that, but Short appeared to go down as he came down going up for that football. Will step aside while they tend to an injured player here from Huntington Beach. Golden West now leading at 19-7, the SCFA championship on SoCalCollegeSports.com. It looks like it's Lucas Short. Mike, run that one more time. We'll have to look at it. Make sure it's him. Yeah, it's Lucas Short. Bring it back to Huntington Beach. Golden West College, the Rustlers on the touchdown reception by Schmidt. Zavala on for the extra point. 2:11 remaining in the first half, so a lot of time for the Bobcats to answer back. Still have 2 of their timeouts as well. 2:11 remaining, 20-7, Golden West on top. For the 5th time in 6 games, Schmidt is over 100 yards. Got it done before halftime. 5 catches for 120 yards and a touchdown, and a 20-7 lead for the Rustlers as Zavala will tee it up. Well, the Bobcats got a big lift a week ago, right before the half, and they could use it here today as well. Taken at the 5 by Harden. Harden picking his way forward, runs into a wall at the 26. It has been a tremendous job in kick coverage by the Rustlers so far here today. So time for the Bobcats to run one play. They'll have the 2-minute timeout and then a couple of timeouts to work with. Down 20-7. And we talked briefly about the time of possession on the previous drive. And the Rustlers just under 20 minutes. So nearly a 2-to-1 advantage in time of possession so far here in the first half. And that has certainly slowed this Bobcat offense that has had to contend with a nasty Rustler defense and maybe a little bit of rust from a lot of time on the sideline. Caleb McCutcheon flying into the backfield. No chance on the carry. And a loss of a couple of yards on the first down carry as we are at the 2-minute timeout. 20-7 Golden West on top at the SCFA Championship from Huntington Beach. #121. Rustlers now down 10, deep kick and another good return. Out to midfield, Faulkner down the far sideline. He gets through, he's gone. What an answer. West Valley.
Oh, wow.
Backhand for Hanley. The Rustlers take the lead. But this is going to look eerily familiar. For those in the Vikings, it's going to go down as a 2-goal game. It was another very close contest, but the Rustlers stay on top in the 3C2A men's water polo landscape. Another championship coming back up. 2nd and 12 from the 25. Here they come. Quick throw from Dudden. First catch for Francisco Martinez. Here today, the leading receiver for the Bobcats. And he's able to find some running room after the reception, enough to pick up a first down. Bobcats have it out to the 42. 1st and 10, Dudden, a deep drop, looking to dump it short, wanted to go back to Martinez, and it was incomplete. Brings up a 2nd and 10. Well, for the Bobcats, first down there, big to continue the drive, looking for some points here late in the first half, but also the Rustlers likely looking for a quick 3-and-out themselves with all 3 timeouts remaining. Perhaps looking to get the ball back quickly and extend on this 13-point lead. There is Kevon Clark in the backfield with Dudden on this 2nd and 10 play, and Taylor launches himself. Flags are down. Let's see if Taylor was perhaps drawn off. And there you see, it looks like what might be a little bit of movement on the right side of that Saddleback offensive line, but the call, it is going to go against Saddleback. Okay, so the Bobcats with the false start and a 2nd and 15 now from the 36. Three-man rush. Dudden guns the far side, catch is made. Getting back the penalty yardage and then some. Brings up a 3rd and 5. Walter with the reception. And now a late flag comes in. Right now they still have it at a 3rd and 5 from the 47. And David Garza, who's had a busy first half, will huddle up once again. And instead, a dead ball foul on the Bobcats. And certainly in the first half, the penalties have been a bigger problem for the Rustlers. But that one will be costly for the Bobcats as a 3rd and 5 becomes 3rd and 20. And there's still 1:25 remaining in the first half. The Rustlers with all 3 timeouts. So the pressure amps up that much more for the Bobcats, as the Rustlers are threatening to get it back and look to add to this lead. Well, the big play in the first half for the Bobcats was on the completion to Nico Lopez. 35 yards. And a timeout on the field. Saddleback going to take a timeout. 1:25 remaining in the first half. Golden West on top, 20-7 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Nick Mitchell's defense doing the job once again. And a 3rd and 20. That timeout was taken by Golden West. So the Rustlers are down to 2 timeouts. Want to talk it over on this critical 3rd down play for the Bobcats. The Rustlers will drop 8 into coverage. Let's see how Jeff Fisher wants to play it. Not a lot of great plays for 3rd and 20, but also the clock perhaps a concern. Does he elect for something relatively conservative, trying to make the Rustlers either give up some time or burn another timeout? Dudden, deep drop, gonna launch on the near side. Martinez, a terrific catch in Rustler territory. What a throw and catch on a 3rd and 20. There is a flag down. Well, not a lot of great plays for 3rd and 20. Here's one as Martinez toward the near sideline, tracking and making the reception, but it's gonna be all for naught, as the flag gonna go against Saddleback. And instead of a first down and a chance to move it further into Rustler territory, it becomes 3rd and a mile. 3rd and 35, now all the way back at the 17-yard line. And now if you're the Rustlers, you just badly need to stay away from committing a penalty. If you can do that, in all likelihood, you're going to get the ball back with good field position. They will keep it on the ground Campbell on the carry, breaks a tackle at the 25, and he's out to the 28. 11 yards for Darian Campbell. And the Rustlers will take their second charge timeout. They will get it back. 59 seconds remaining in the first half, and the Rustlers on top, 20-7. Punting unit on for the Bobcats. And Ethan Schwartz waiting for this one inside his 15-yard line, and it's blocked! And the Rustlers going to come away with very good field position inside the 25 as they get to Ethan Schwartz. Josh Clark ultimately falls on it. Kikama Kozma able to get in and get the block, and then took a nasty hit. But you got to imagine he'll take that. Meanwhile, a player is down. A big play on special teams for the Rustlers, and a golden opportunity to extend on a 20-7 lead. We'll step aside for an injury timeout from Golden West. The Rustlers on top 20-7 at the SCFA Championship. With the snap. Ball inside the 25. Pop flies to far side. It's a jump ball, incomplete. Looking for David Daniels. Matched up with Jaden Humphrey. And Humphrey able to get a hand in. That's a phenomenal shot, guys. Second down and 10. As you see Humphrey able to get a hand. The injured player briefly was Ethan Schwartz, and when you consider that the block came courtesy of 6'4", 245-pound Kikama Kozma, you can well understand it. But Schwartz was able to get up and head off under his own power. Delayed run from Kamakaviva Ole, falls forward to the 20. Down goes Jacob Sekioba. He's looking for a flag. So far, none down. Meanwhile, it's a 3rd and 7 down to 34 seconds with a timeout on the field. 3rd and long for the Rustlers when we come back, leading at 20-7 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. critical play for the Bobcats, certainly. On a 3rd and 8 from the 21, the Rustlers are out of timeouts with 34 seconds remaining in the first half, but got to believe the Bobcats got to keep them out of the end zone here. Into the end zone and incomplete. Had Dom Thompson. And Kamikaviva Ole, I think thinking here that Thompson's going to keep going, but it looked like Dom Thompson slowed ever so slightly. Perhaps gathering himself to go up for that football. And that may have ultimately cost the Rustlers. Here comes Mateo Zavala, who's already connected on a couple of field goals from 25 yards. This one will be from 38 yards. Snap placement down, the kick away for Zavala, and he drills it. I'll tell you, Mateo Zavala, 2 of 10 on the season so far, but coming up huge here at the SCFA Championship. Not only 3 of 3 here in the first half, but that was dead solid perfect right down the middle from Zavala. What a ball game for Zavala so far. Perfect 3 for 3. Golden West now on top 23-7 with 23 seconds remaining in the first half. So we'll see Hardin retreat back deep along with Francisco Martinez. Interesting that we haven't seen Jagger Blaukamp, who's averaging a little better than 30 yards a return on the season. So far today, it's been Hardin who also has been good. And now Martinez back deep. Here's the approach from Zavala. High kick taken at the 10, the fair catch from Hardin. So the Bobcats want to preserve as much time as possible. They have 23 seconds and a couple of timeouts. But the bigger problem is how much can you get done in 23 seconds? They'll look for a big play here. Certainly, the stand defensively on the previous drive is big for Saddleback. They go down 27-7, and even with a full half of football remaining, it is going to be a steep mountain to climb. At least right now at 23-7, you're talking about 2 scores. Keep it on the ground with Campbell hit behind the line. Sowney, Cruz, Wheeler flying to the ball. The Rustlers out of timeouts, so that will likely be the final play of the first half. And an exclamation point for this Rustler defense that has been tremendous once again. Halftime from Golden West College, and the Rustlers on top, 23-7 at the SCFA Championship on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Everyone got to keep their heads up. Got a game on our hands. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Okay, good question.
Waiting on you.
121. Rustlers now down 10 deep, kick and another good return. Out to midfield, Faulkner down the far sideline. He gets through, he's gone. What an answer. Oh wow. Backhand for Hanley. The Rustlers take the lead. But this is going to look eerily familiar. For those in the Vikings, it's going to go down as a two-goal game. It was another very close contest, but the Rustlers stay on top in the 3C2A men's water polo landscape. Another championship coming back to Huntington Beach. And back at Huntington Beach, 20-7 the lead. Or I should say 23-7 the lead. The Rustlers over the Bobcats. I'm very pleased to be joined by Golden West College President Meredith Randall. And Meredith, thanks so much for joining us. And listen, it's quite a run that we're on here at Golden West College with the water polo men's team securing a championship. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention the victory for the Golden West College women at the soccer championship yesterday. They are in the championship. And of course today, the football team off to a great start and leading here at halftime. But this kind of run of success, what does that mean for overall for the college atmosphere, on campus when you're having that kind of success across your athletic programs?
Yeah, and I'd point out we are the reigning state champs in men's volleyball as well from last spring. Yeah, it means everything to us. We're one of the smaller colleges in Southern California. We tend to get overlooked, I think, and I think by having our athletic teams do so well, under the leadership of Danny Johnson, our athletic director, who is fantastic, it really helps raise the profile of the college as a whole and really expose to the public all the great things we do here.
And Danny has been here for a while, and can you talk a little bit more about just what he has done, because it's been a lot of years in the making that he has done, but really to elevate this culture and take it to a higher level.
Yeah, Danny was a student here. Danny is green and yellow. I think his blood runs green and yellow. His wife works here as well. She's one of our faculty members. He is just so dedicated, such a smart guy, very supportive of his coaches. So Coach Mitchell, Coach Barone over in soccer, Coach Amato for the volleyball. I think they feel that he's there for them, anything they need to do. We run very clean programs. We're not getting penalized for things. And we attract athletes who just want to be out on the field, do the best they can, and, in many cases transfer and play at a higher level.
And for those who don't know, can you talk a little bit about sort of the day-to-day or week-to-week about how you work with Danny? We talk about what Danny does for his coaches. What does he need from you, and what do you guys talk about?
We talk about everything. I think we probably text each other more than most presidents and athletic directors, but I have absolute faith in him that he's going to run good programs, that he's going to bring good coaches onto the campus, assistant coaches, everyone else. A lot of our assistant coaches in football, of course, are former players. And then we do a great job recruiting. And it's very competitive down here. There's a lot of high schools, but there's a lot of colleges trying to recruit them. And so our track record, not just wins in the program, but the transfers as well, I think that really attracts a lot of students. And Danny is behind all of that.
We work a lot, obviously, with Nick Mitchell in our coverage of football, and we've done some work with Coach Amato as well in coverage of water polo. And it's a number of coaches here, both in the past and current. This seems to be a high retention program that you run. Coaches stay here for a long time. You talk a little bit about the culture and what it is that leads to that kind of synergy in the relationship with coaches that want to stay here and that ultimately do stay.
Yeah, and I should mention Coach Taylor, of course, for the water polo, 9 straight state championships.
Yeah.
I think because they get that support, because, we're always out there, Danny is helping them recruit, and of course we all know the more your program is successful, the easier it is to recruit the next year. So it just all, builds on itself. And yeah, we do have a lot of coaches who want to stick around, which has been great.
And going to something like today's event, can you talk a little bit about, I know that one of the things that we like to talk about is who are some of maybe the unsung people, the people that I know, because a lot of people do a lot of work for something like this where we can all be here and enjoy this event and just to get it off the ground and get it going. What goes into something like that?
Yeah, so I would call out people like Tim Bremen, who's organizes all the games, our trainers who have kept everyone healthy or as much as possible. And then we have our public safety officers led by Annie Wynn out there who, just keep the crowds kind of calm and settled and make sure everyone gets where they need to go. So it is a big, big job to put on a game like this, 2 in a row, because last week was a big game as well.
Yeah, and 30 minutes more, and maybe another really big game coming next week. But that turns our attention to where do you go from here? Obviously, it's a lot of success. It's a program that's growing. The culture is having a bigger and bigger impact on the school overall. And what is next across athletics? What kinds of things are being considered?
So we are starting women's flag football in the spring. We're very excited about that. And, for our other teams that have not had success, Danny and I are always trying to figure out, how can we raise them to the level of some of the more noticeable programs at this point. So, and we'll look at some other sports as well over the next few years. But we are excited about flag football. Yeah,
we're really looking forward to it, and it's something that I would say it's long overdue. And as I said to Danny, I just hope that means that pickleball is on the block as well, and that's coming. But we'll wait and see if that idea has yet to germinate.
We have on the other side of campus, across from where we are now, we have dozens of people playing pickleball every day. It's not a sport for us yet, but we have the facilities if that's how we want to go.
Let you in a little secret, Meredith. I'm one of them, so I know where the courts are.
Yes.
Meredith, thanks. Yeah, thanks so much for joining us.
Sure.
Great talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks so much for the great job you guys do.
We appreciate that. We'll be back. Start of the third quarter coming up.
Get out of my head.
we continue our tour of school presidents, and Elliot Stern from Saddleback College. Thank you, Elliot, for coming on and joining us. And let's talk a little bit about, for you guys, a lot of success across the board. Of course, it's been a great season in football, but a lot of athletic success. And what does that mean when we talk about athletic programs having success for the overall culture at the school?
I think it's a great question. One of the things about community colleges, it's really hard to get students engaged in any kind of student life, getting them to come in for an activity. They're commuters by nature, they're working, they have home life, they get out of there, right? Anything we can do to draw them in. We know there's actually research that shows every hour a student stays on campus for any activity outside of class, they're more likely to be successful. So student engagement actually pays off in student success, and athletics is probably the key way in which we do that.
And one of the things that I know you have to be very excited about is the magnificent facility that you guys have there at Saddleback College. And we have seen it right now. It is being utilized very well with the soccer championships going on as well at the school. And what has that meant overall for the school to make that investment and have that kind of facility?
I think it's really important for us to have this landmark that we can look at and say athletics means something to us, and we prove it. We put the dollars into not just that facility, but a new tennis center. We're redoing our baseball stadium, our baseball field. It's really important to us that the coaches, the staff, the students we have, the stadiums and the facilities must match the caliber of those people. And for a long time and for many colleges that doesn't happen, and we're really proud that we're community funded and we're able to do that.
And I know that you have a great athletic staff over there, and we talked with Brad Hoyseth a little bit this week as well. But overall, a great team over there. Can you talk about some of the people that have been so instrumental in doing these Herculean tasks across the board, so much to take care of in the athletic program?
I mean, it starts at Dan Klaus and the Vice President of Instruction, Trambo Kumamoto. We're supporting him. But I got to say, it goes down to Brett. It goes down to every trainer. It goes down to every coach. There is just something about Saddleback that has this long tradition of supporting our athletes and doing well at a state level, and we see it in the staff, and everybody builds these programs because they expect to win state championships, whether we do this one or not.
Well, we're underway here in the third quarter, but let's talk a little bit as we get started here with the third quarter about what is coming up. And we do have possibly a ball down, but they're going to say down by contact, it looks like, on the return by Faulkner. So a break for the Rustlers and near disaster to start the third quarter. But talk about what's coming up, I think, in a very exciting program and future ahead at Saddleback College.
Athletics in general?
Overall, whatever you'd like to talk about.
Football, I think we've been through, some regrowing under Coach Kerry Crabb, and I think Jeff is doing an amazing job now taking some of that growth that Kerry did and turning it into success, and we're seeing that. I never thought this team would go this far this year, and we are just so impressed with them, and we think the future is really strong for them. In other sports, we started men's soccer just 2 years ago, and they made playoffs in their very first inaugural year, so we've been very fortunate in building new programs, and we'll continue to do so in the future. We always want to be a college that's known for its athletic programs. That's really important to us. It's important to our community. Just like you guys get people come out for this, we get people coming out for games. It means something to the community.
Indeed, Jeff Fisher has set the bar high for himself here in this first season. Elliot, sir, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate the conversation.
My pleasure. Nice to be here.
All right. Thanks, Elliot. All right, now the carry by Thomas on first down. Should say second down. And leaves a 3rd and 3. Well, they're calling it 3rd and 2. From the 35. And now back live. Early stages, third quarter. Of course, the Rustlers won the toss and deferred, so they have it to start this third quarter, leading it by 16. And a big challenge for the Bobcat defense that steps up on a 3rd and short with a stop. They're going to get a 3 and out and get this football back, knifing through Orlando Gonzalez with a big play. And the Rustlers fall short on a 3rd and short, and we'll see Aaron Stock for the first time today. Well, that is exactly the start you're looking for if you're the Bobcats. down 23-7. But they will get the football. Stock gets the kick away. High kick. Fair catch made by Harden at the 32. It's a kick of 32 yards and no return. As the Bobcats tried to bring the pressure on Stock, indeed some contact, but no flags down. And the Bobcats will settle for starting from their own 32. Dudden, 8 of 11 for 86 yards in the first half. No touchdowns, no interceptions. In fact, no turnovers for either team. And that is noteworthy for a couple of defenses that have done a tremendous job all season long, creating opportunities via the turnover. But a feather in the cap of the opposing offenses to do a good job taking care of the football. Clark knocked out of bounds on the short reception. On a big hit from Rob Andrus. 2 yards, call it 3 for Kevon Clark. And a 2nd and 7 coming up. Clark, 17 yards in the first half on 5 carries, gets the call here. He's dragged down behind the line. Caleb McCutcheon with the speed coming off the edge, gets to Clark. A loss of a yard back to the 34. Kevon Clark started the day just 48 yards shy of 1,000 for the season. And now he's got 16 yards on 6 carries. 3rd down and 8. Snap to Dudden, stepping up. Dudden with some room, out to the 40, ducks under Cruz Wheeler, and appears to have enough for the first down. Well, so far, the Rustlers have done a great job containing Dudden running the football, but that time able to step up and find 8 yards when he needed 8 yards to move the chains. 1st and 10 from the 43. Kevon Clark remains in the backfield. Rustlers send 3, but the pressure comes. Dumped it short. Complete. Big hit from Soleau on the reception by Nico Lopez. 2nd catch for Lopez. Lopez missed a couple of weeks at the tail end of the regular season. Returned last week with a big reception in the win against Mount Sac. Now a couple of catches today. That one for 6 yards leaves a 2nd and 4. And now Dudden going to step up. Spins out of a tackle. That will free him up to pick up the first down. Soleau with the stop, but Dudden picks up 4 more yards as he's able to work himself free from Dalen Sauni. Gets it to the 46. Bobcats on the move, a couple of first downs. This drive started back at their 31-yard line. Clark sweeping to the left, cuts it back, finds a little lane into the Rustler secondary, but he stepped out of bounds. Well, Kevon Clark has a special kind of playmaking ability. Not just the 900 yards, but a season-long rush of 90 yards in the regular season finale against El Camino that ultimately secured the 2nd seed in the playoffs for the Bobcats. That conference title came down to the final week, but Clark has been a home run back throughout the season, and thus a challenge at all times for this Rustler defense, as there's no question that you can contain Clark perhaps for short stretches, but he is a threat to break it on any touch. False start, meanwhile, on the Bobcats. Moves it back to the 38, where it'll be 1st and 15. Penalties have certainly been a storyline for both teams. Rustlers with 7 and the Bobcats now with 6. Clark again cuts it back, finds a lane. Forced out of bounds inside the 30. Close to another first down. Jerome Lilio moving up for the stop. But you see the burst of Kavon Clark through the hole, letting that play develop. It was a 2nd and 15, so the 11 yards leaves a 3rd and 4 for the Bobcats. Let me correct myself very quickly. It was a 1st and 15, so 2nd and 4 from the 27. Straight drop for Dutton. Out in the flat to Clark. Absorbs a big hit out of bounds from Faulkner. And the Bobcats really look to bring the pressure on the edges of opposing defenses, both in the running and passing game. That puts a lot of pressure on the likes of Drew Faulkner out on the corners to be sure tacklers. Did the job there, limiting Clark to 3 yards and a 3rd and 1. And they go back to Darian Campbell, who is on to replace Clark. Brought down by Josh Clark, who again loses his helmet. Needed a yard, got a couple. Moves the chains once again. And this rather deliberate drive from the Bobcats, who are still down substantially in terms of time of possession. So this is a welcome sight. Give their defense a blow as they are chewing up some clock on this drive. Andrus brings Campbell down inside the 20 at the 19. Pickup of 4. And a 2nd down and 6. See the clock moving, 8:13 and counting. Remaining in the 3rd quarter. Campbell remains in the backfield. Again, the Rustlers drop into coverage. Nonetheless, Dutton under pressure, able to find Gage Galbraith. And the Bobcats looking for a penalty. Watch the tail end here on the hit by Cruz Wheeler. And Wheeler might have gotten away with one there, as took exception to the way that Galbraith came down on him and got up with a quick shot that likely escaped the attention of the refs. So no call coming in a 3rd and 4. Campbell on the carry, on the right side, pushing the pile down near the 1st down marker. He's got it. Campbell needed 4, he got 4. 1st down for the Bobcats. The drive continues as we wind down towards 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Darian Campbell remains in the backfield. Now up to 20 yards. Make it 25 on 10 carries. Read option, Dutton able to slip out of one tackle. He's down inside the 10. Faulkner able to trip him up. 3 yards for Dutton. 2nd down and 7. The Bobcats can pick up a 1st down without scoring a touchdown. This will be a 2nd and 7 from the 8.
Bit of a statement drive here, Jeff.
Keeping that Rustler offense on the sideline. This drive better than 6 minutes. Started back at the 32. Dutton plants, fires, incomplete. Cruz Wheeler getting a hand in. The pass was intended for Martinez.
I have a great shot of this here. Just terrific coverage. You see the deflection. It's nearly picked off.
Yeah, Wheeler, Clark. We saw it last week with Soleil. So effective dropping back into coverage.
Yep.
An athletic linebacking core in Soleil with the big pick 6 late in the win. They've been doing it all season. 3rd and 7 from the 8, the snap to Dutton. Clark breaks a tackle at the line, brought down inside the 5. Looked for a moment as though he was going to find pay dirt running through the tackle, but how about Jerome Lilio stepping in for the injured Nigel Mills?
Terrific
in
tackle.
The open field.
4th down.
Bringing down Kavon Clark. It is indeed.
Jeff, it's
4th and short and a decision for Jeff Fisher.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I think they're going to keep the offense out there.
Yeah, down 16. And Jeff Fisher going to have his offense line up to go for it on a 4th down and 2. Snap to Dudden. They'll try Clark. Clark cutting it back. Falls forward. This will come down to the spot.
I think he has the first down.
Dalen Sauni with the tackle, but Clark able to just escape the clutches
they needed the
of Rob
2-yard
Andrus.
line. And
the Bobcats have been very good on 4th down as a team all season long, 19 of 28
Jeff,
on 4th down.
Man, that is awfully close. This is going to come down to the spot, like you said. I don't think they got it.
They needed to get down to about the 1-yard line.
Yeah, 1.5, 2-yard line. We'll see it again here on replay. Pretty good look of it here.
So the announcement comes that Kavon Clark did pick up the first down. That brings a reaction from the Bobcat fans, making some noise. Again, this is a relatively short trip up the 405. So these two programs that know each other well, of course, battled in the National South for years before Golden West now moving to the Central. And yet here they meet again. They have it at the 1, offset I formation. Clark in the deep I. Snap to Dudden. Clark straight ahead and in for a touchdown. Following his all-conference center, Ryan Carby. And Carby carves out a lane. Touchdown for Kavon Clark, 68-yard drive, better than 7 minutes off the clock.
Well, here comes it
for the Bobcats.
I would assume the 2-point team's going to be out, but
12th rushing touchdown on the season for Kavon Clark, who with that carry now has 1,000 yards on the season. So congratulations to Kavon Clark in a conference that is rife with talent at the tailback position. Kavion Sibley, Jaden Moore, all conference selections, also both with 1,000 yards on the season. So now 3 backs in that National South with 1,000 yards on the year. Dudden as they go for 2, slings on the far side, got it. What a play from Tyler Dudden with a defender hanging off him. Able to squeeze it in, finding Gentilella matched up with Drew Faulkner. And Gentilella wins that round. Bobcats get the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. 5:03 remaining in the third. We're back to a 1-score game at the SCFA Championship.
My head.
.503 remaining in the third as the Bobcats get the 3-and-out and then take it 68 yards. Time-consuming drive. Finished with a 1-yard touchdown run by Kavon Clark. And it's 23-15. This taken by Faulkner at the goal line. Faulkner tripped up but manages to spin forward for a few more yards after contact. And now the Rustler offense with a little pressure tacked on after their defense out there for about 8 minutes.
And Jeff,
they need a couple of first downs here, Michael.
Just to give them a breather. And I mean, what a statement coming out of halftime. You're down 2 scores, you get the quick 3-and-out, and then you march down the field and take about 8 minutes off the clock Maybe even more than that.
Yeah.
I'm no math guy.
3 third-down conversions and a big fourth-down conversion on that drive.
And
so
again, aided by a penalty, and that has been a theme here today. Golden West, this is a game right now where Golden West in that first half, they could have easily been up to 30, 35 points. Instead, only 23 points. The margin could have been better. And Saddleback throughout this season, they've been the beneficiary of very quick starts. Well, they started quickly here in the second half. Looks like we have an injured player here on the field. We'll take an injury timeout.
take you up to San Mateo and
no doubter there.
College of San Mateo late in the third, and they are on their way back. So get your travel plans ready, it would appear. A little better than a quarter to go, but on top of Modesto, 31-0.
Yeah, they're on the phone with Sonesta Suites right now.
And meanwhile, as we look in, how about a big play on special teams? In the last minute of the third quarter, and they continue to be a juggernaut in the north. As we bring you back to Huntington Beach, in our game, considerably more in doubt after that Bobcat touchdown drive moments ago. 23-15, 4:56 remaining in the third. And now Kamakaviva Ole. And the Rustler offense is on. Play action, quick slant looking for Schmidt, a sliding catch near the first down marker, working against Iman Carter, 6'2", 205-pound corner, who has had an outstanding season, a all-conference effort for Carter. But Schmidt able to come up with the catch, and it leaves a second and short. But that's not going to get it done. Nothing doing on the give straight ahead.
Jeff.
For Ardwan Morris, and now it is 3rd and 3, and a critical 3rd and 3 for the Rustlers, who are 5 of 9 on third down in the game.
Jeff, I mean, I would be interested to see when's the last time the Rustlers went 3 and out on consecutive possessions. Oh. Nearly got Saddleback to jump there.
Owa looking for the hard count and nearly had it. 3rd and 3 from the 30. They'll go back to the ground. Good hold for Morris, who makes a move at the 35. Morris into the open field. Carter will track him down.
Wow.
Ardwan Morris.
Jeff, look at this move in the hole.
Gets to the 37.
There I am, and there I am.
Here's Jacob Sekioba with a tough assignment in the open field, and Ardwan Morris all the way to the Bobcat 38. And listen, there's a couple things to talk about on that play, and certainly the move by Ardwan Morris that adds about 20 yards. But again, the work on the interior of that offensive line following Enoke Samita, in Nick Mitchell's words, the heart and soul of that Rustler offensive line. And again, delivers a big hole for Ardwan Morris to pick up a critical 3rd down.
Now let's see if we can locate some sneakers here, some cleats for Saddleback, because, man, Morris, what a run. And that's a momentum builder, because right now in this third quarter, Golden West has none of it.
And certainly a nice moment for Ardwan Morris, who's been so patient this year working with Nick Mitchell and working with Kendrick Thomas and Aaron Mitchell, splitting time in the backfield, but getting a chance here today as Owa takes a big hit at the 35. But Ardwan Morris getting a chance to shine here today and delivers the big run. Meanwhile, heavy contact as Kamakaviva Ole brought down at the 35. And just like that, another big third down for the Rustlers. And you got to believe from this part of the field, Mike, as we often like to talk about, 4-down territory. 3rd and 7. This is from the 35.
They're going to empty the backfield.
Bobcats looking to get off the field. They'll send the blitz. Owa plants, fires, completes to Schmidt over the middle. First down for the Rustlers, back in the red zone at the 19-yard line, 16 yards for Tanner Schmidt on a 3rd and 7, and now it's the Rustlers who've come up with a couple of big third down conversions. Sekioba with the stop.
Well, Jeff, a response last week huge after the pick 6 with the return kickoff touchdown. Another big third quarter response from the Rustlers after the touchdown from Saddleback.
All kinds of time for Owa. Finds Goodwin over on the near side. Brought down by Carter at the 14. 5 yards as we're into the final minute. Fast-moving third quarter. Both teams, to their credit, have cleaned it up here in the third quarter. Far fewer penalties. They combined for 13 penalties in the first half. But this third quarter has flown by. Long drive for the Bobcats, but right now the Rustlers answering back. They're in the red zone with a 2nd and 5. Oh, on the keeper, and he is drilled short of the line of scrimmage. A loss on the play, flying off the edge, Zach Vallow. Brings up another third down. The Rustlers don't have to run another play here in the third quarter. It's a 3rd and 5. Call it 3rd and a short 6 from the Saddleback 15-yard line. And indeed, the Rustlers going to be content to run out the third quarter. Heading for the 4th, Golden West and Saddleback, a shot at a 3C2A championship on the line here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Third and 6 from the Saddleback 15. Big play to start the fourth quarter. Here come the Bobcats. Oh, a hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Looking for J.D. Alisea. Bobcats dialing up the blitz, and they get there as Jack Matranga coming clean and able to get in the face of Kamakaviva Ole, and we'll see Mateo Zavala, who's perfect so far today for a 32-yard field goal attempt.
Makes it a 2-score game here, Jeff.
So far, this will come from the right hash. Zavala looking to make it 2 scores again. Placement down and good again.
Money.
Well, what problems in the kicking game?
So much for
How
that.
about Zavala? 4 of 4 on the day. Making a push for the game ball. 26-15. Golden West up 11 early 4th on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Big response from the Rustlers after that 17-play drive for the Bobcats that took nearly 8 minutes off the clock. The Rustlers able to put together a drive of their own back into the red zone, and Zavala on a 32-yard field goal pushes the lead back to 26-15, opening minute of the fourth quarter. And Golden West back up 11. Deep kick and some trouble inside the 5, but it bounces up for Harden. Out to the 15. Looking to go back to his left, brought down shy of the 20, but certainly for the Bobcats, it could have been worse. Some trouble finding the handle inside the 20, but they come away with the ball. And the Rustler defense did get
Live looking.
a little bit of a blow.
Not much drama up north.
College of San Mateo on their way. And they will be down to defend their championship.
Yes, they will.
I feel reasonably safe saying that.
Pretty safe bet.
Dudden with Campbell in the backfield.
Though it does look like Modesto just got on the board.
Flushed from the pocket. Dudden still looking, now throws incomplete. Overshoots his target. Looking for Walter. Pass incomplete. The coverage from Tate and Rogers. Rogers also big interception last week. Rustler defense forced 4 turnovers against a Pirate team that ordinarily have been doing a great job taking care of the football. So far today, no turnovers on either side. 2nd down and 10 from the 19. Campbell running left, in trouble in the backfield, now looking to reverse field. Able to slip out of one tackle, but won't get by the second wave. Soleau eventually gets there to wrap him up, but this play blown up from the outset. Wheeler flying in, and Soleau coming in to finish the job. It's a loss all the way back to the 12-yard line. 7-yard loss for Campbell.
Jeff,
and a 3rd and 17 now for the Bobcats.
Jeff, it looks like Dutton's having some issues with his communication.
Well, 3rd and 17 deep in your own territory wouldn't seem to be the time to have it. You'll have to go to work. 4-man rush, sets up, looking deep. Walter with a leaping catch. Out at the 38-yard line. 26 yards on a 3rd and 17.
Wow.
Remember that moment. The Rustlers with a chance to get off the field with the 11-point lead, but the Bobcats coming up with a huge play to continue the drive.
There's a flag on the field here, Jeff.
Tack on 15 yards.
Man.
David Garza with the call. 26 yards on the completion to Walter, 15 yards on the penalty against the Rustlers.
Well, Jeff, we saw a pretty clean third quarter.
Yep, I was going to say the Rustlers done a very good job in the third quarter, not hurting themselves with penalties, but that one, a personal foul, will cost them 15 yards, and all of a sudden, from 3rd and 17 deep in their own territory, the Bobcats now have it in Rustler territory at the 48. And now the Golden West defense will need to regroup. Dudden looking deep once again, and the pass incomplete. Nico Lopez matched up with John Bivens.
That's a heck of a ball there from Dudden. Man.
And how about the fight from Bivens?
Well, Jeff, I mean,
playing opposite Drew Faulkner all season long, that time with Lopez.
That's very similar to the play that we saw in the first half for Golden West, where Owa sends it to Schmidt. It's a 50-50 ball and looks like an interception. Schmidt comes down with it. That time, Saddleback unable to make a play.
2nd and 10 from the 48. The snap to Dudden. Read option, and Dudden slips a tackle at the 45. That will free him up for 10 more yards down to the 34. 14 yards for Tyler Dudden. And I think Dudden getting more involved in the running game has been one of the big changes in this second half, as the Rustlers are dialed in on the Saddleback backs. Yeah, not much doing for Campbell, who again has next to no running room. Javon Taylor able to wrap him up, bring him down. A loss of a yard, 2nd down and 11. And listen, if you're a running back, it's a frustrating afternoon going against this Rustler defense. Haven't seen anybody who hasn't had a mighty struggle. Bring on Kavon Clark. Yeah, Kavon Clark back in the backfield. 3 wide receivers. Dudden sets, fires, completes. Back to Martinez. Down to the 26. Leaves a 2nd and short. Orlando Bustamante with the stop. 3rd and 1 from the 25. They'll go to Clark, circling to the right. Ducks under 1 tackle, now just tries to push the pile. It'll come down to the spot. I was going to say, if Clark got this, that is 2nd and 3rd effort. So far, no movement. Could be Clark. Is Clark back up? Meanwhile, we'll step aside. Brief injury timeout, 11:51 remaining in the 4th. 26-15, the Rustlers on top. Kavon Clark was down momentarily, but he is back up, but he will have to leave the field. So on a 4th and 1, it'll be Darian Campbell back on. Bobcats with a big 4th down pickup on the previous drive. Low snap, still loose. Dudden trying to get it. Campbell picks it up. He's hit. It's loose again. Still battling for it. Rustlers almost had it. Rogers. Now the Bobcats finally fall on it back near midfield.
Ball
They're
still out.
Battling.
Either way, it's going to be Rustler ball.
Yeah, this is tantamount to the first turnover of the day. Either way, eventually Martinez was able to track it down, but the loss on 4th down will give it back to the Rustlers anyway. With a short field, they'll take over at the Bobcat 44. And the first, I think what you'd have to call disaster play of the game.
Another player down for Saddleback. Campbell down right now, and looks like he's hurt. So both running backs on consecutive plays are injured for Saddleback.
He absorbed a big hit trying to keep that play alive after there was trouble on the snap. This is all the way back to the 43. So it'll go down as a loss of 32 yards. So it won't go down as a turnover, but it will function exactly like one.
Jeff, we'll go back to it here. We're in replay. Looked like there was early movement from the defense.
Yeah, watching here, and yeah, there's Campbell. You can see the forefront, and both teams trading shots at the football, but this is all working to the benefit of Golden West. As on a 4th down,
going the wrong way
further
for
that
Saddleback.
ball, it's the sort of opposite holy roller. Well, back to my references now being back from the 70s. Last week I had a brief move into the 90s with a reference, but now I'm back to 1978. But it was an eerily similar play as that ball just kept on moving back into Bobcat territory. Thomas looking to bounce it to the outside, goes airborne.
Man.
He's tripped up, gain of about a yard. Let's watch here as he gets up but not over Jacob Sekioba brings up a second down and 9.
Picks up 1. Could have been a loss.
Clock moving. Under 11 minutes, but Bobcats looking for a stop here. If you can hold them to 3 points, you at least keep it at 2 scores, but a touchdown here. And it becomes 3 scores, so an opportunity for the Rustlers to really take control. Setting up the screen, juggled and caught by McKissick. Down to the 36.
Incredible concentration there from McKissick.
And a 3rd and 3.
Watch this here. Tips it to himself. Makes it very, very manageable here on 3rd down, 3rd and 3.
Yeah, that one partially off of Inoki Samita. But McKissick able to secure. And a 3rd down and 3. Golden West, 7 of 12 on 3rd down here today. They'll send McKissick in motion. On the ground, Thomas for perhaps a yard and a 4th down decision from the 35.
I don't think there is a decision. You got to stay out there.
Yeah, little reason it would seem not to go for it. Golden West, 8 of 14 on 4th down on the season. This their first attempt today. Schmidt wide to the left. Morris in the backfield, straight ahead. Morris with another good hole. What an afternoon for that Golden West offensive line. Samita Atuatasi, Dylan Bunbury in the interior of that Golden West offensive line. Yet another good hole. Morris through. Has the first down to the 23, 12 yards, and a 4th down conversion.
Expect the air to be taken out of the football here from the Rustlers. They are in no rush.
Under 9 minutes to go. Morris remains in the backfield. Bobcats crowding the line. Morris bounces it to his right. Picks up a couple. Jack Knudsen with the tackle, and Knudsen, a first-team all-conference selection. 1 of 3 to make all-conference on the first team on that Saddleback defense. One of them, Noah Luganville, not available today. So they lose one of their big defenders in the secondary, but Gavin Blum, Jack Knudsen, helping to anchor this defense all season and here today. 2nd and 9, play action. The pass incomplete. Looking for McKissick. And now a 3rd and 9. Hard to say if Oa was looking for a lane or maybe just lost the handle.
He got
a bit of a wounded duck coming out.
Well, he got pummeled as the ball was going out. See it again.
Now a 3rd and 9 from the 22.
Yeah, see the defense get home here.
Yeah, that was a big hit straight up the middle. There's the cause. Bobcats showing blitz on a 3rd and 9. Here they come. Oa under pressure. Now able to leak out on the near side. Flags are down. He'll head out of bounds inside the 10. For the moment, it's a 1st down, but that is a flag down in the Golden West backfield, and this is where you almost would assuredly expect to see holding, and that is the call.
Yep.
Looked like the jersey moving on the blitz by Dominic Lopez. And that brings the holding call. So that wipes away the 3rd down conversion. It also takes it out to the 31-yard line. So it also takes you to the outer stretches of field goal range. As it's 3rd and 19 from the 31.
If you get back to the original line of scrimmage on this set of downs, which is a 24-yard line, probably 4-down territory. So long this year for Zavala.
43 yards. 3rd and 19. Straight drop. Over the middle, Schmidt with the reception. Down inside the 15, he goes airborne. Cut down at the 12.
Just so good.
19 yards. Rather better than 19 yards. He got inside the 10, down to the 8. 23 yards for Schmidt, who somehow finds a way again.
Just a great route. Comes back on what looked like a hook route. Comes back to the ball.
Down.
Sure-handed.
Sorry, Michael, down to the 8-yard line. And a first down. Mitchell inside the 5. Down to the goal line.
He's in.
In for the touchdown. 8 yards for Aaron Mitchell. And Golden West, with under 7 minutes to go, pushes the lead to 3 scores at 32-15. The yardage after contact for Aaron Mitchell, a returning sophomore. And Nick Mitchell talking about his core of running backs, saying it's just been a great room all season long, working well together, sharing time, and what a year as a unit they've put together. Aaron Mitchell with that touchdown and maybe punching the ticket for the Rustlers to a shot at a 3C2A championship.
They celebrate like the bass with a clip. They celebrate
Fair catch on the kickoff. And now for the Bobcats. Steep hill, 33-15. Fascinating season for the Bobcats. Talked about at the top the way that they have taken it to another level in the second half of the season. Last 5 weeks, outscoring their opponents by better than 30 points a game. But you go back to September 20th and week 4 of the season, and the Bobcats 2-1 and playing at Riverside. Not the easiest place to play. And they're down 34-20, a couple of scores early in the fourth quarter. And if that one gets away, the Bobcats are 2-2, maybe on the outside looking in to making the playoffs at all. But Tyler Dudden, who had not started a game over the first 3 weeks, getting the start at Riverside, leads 2 scoring drives in the fourth quarter. The Bobcats ultimately come back to win that one 40-34 in overtime. And again, at Riverside, one of the top programs in the SCFA year after year. That's a big win. Think about the difference of the Bobcats being 3-1 at that point versus potentially being 2-2. If they don't get that win, as Dudden able to get out of the pocket, he'll head out of bounds at the 42. But it shows you how year after year, the difference between making it this far, maybe not making it this far, can be so very thin. And right there, that's a stretch that maybe made the season for the Bobcats. And then as the season went on, really started to pull themselves together and bring it all together and take it to that higher level in the second half of the season. Turning into a juggernaut. Big hit on the reception. Lilio delivers the hit on Gentilella. Catch is made and another first down.
Jeff, a huge hit here. Wow. Nice. It's just great hard-nosed football from Golden West.
Good stick from Jerome Lilio. Getting a shot here today with the injury to Nigel Mills, and stepping in and doing the job. Nonetheless, a first down.
Yeah, Golden West trying to figure out why are you stopping the clock here? Was there a
The
flag that was
officials
thrown?
Didn't see one down. 5:23. Here's the call from David Garza. There was a flag down. So this one going to go against the Bobcats, and that will erase much of the completion to Gentilella.
All right. Trying to take a look at this again here, Jeff.
So yeah, Gentilella, and watch here.
Yeah, he goes out of bounds voluntarily and then comes back in. No, that's a great call.
Yeah, matched up with Faulkner. And on the chuck from Faulkner, Gentilella just heads out of bounds. Then comes back in, and the first to touch it. So that is 10 yards and a loss of down. Or I should say 2nd and 10, just the loss of down. Over the middle and nearly picked off. Cruz Wheeler able to break it up. Brings up a 3rd and 10.
Oof.
Had Kyle Bale momentarily over the middle, but the pass a little bit behind him. That allowed Cruz Wheeler to get back, get his hands on it. And now a big 3rd and 10 from the 42. And I think no matter where you are on the field, 5-18 and down 18 points. 4 downs upcoming, you would believe, for the Bobcats. Blitz coming. Dudden stepping up. He'll run it out to midfield. Takes a big hit from Brandon Soleil. Short of the first down marker. Clock moving under 5 minutes. It's a 4th and 2 after Dudden picks up 8 yards. Might be the season on the line for the Bobcats.
Certainly.
On this 4th and 2 play. Rustlers will send 3. Quick throw, catches made for a first down. Finding Francisco Martinez. Martinez, 46 catches on the season to lead the way for the Bobcats coming into this one. 5 yards and a first down. And that keeps the Bobcats' hopes alive. But now it needs to come quickly. Clock starting to wind down to danger territory. 4:15 and counting. Precious seconds tipping away. Dudden under pressure. And the throw incomplete. Avoids the sack, but had to throw that one up. See Andres Kozma closing in, looking for Bale once again. 2nd and 10 from the 45. And Mike, I don't know what it is, but it feels like the Rustler defense just has a way of making you burn time, even when you don't want to. Because this drive is taking some time. They're still at the 45. We're down to just over 4 minutes remaining.
Well, going up against this Rustler defense has been a tall order for everybody throughout this season. Undefeated for a reason. It's crazy. You go back to last week, Ventura made it look easy at times. Speaks to how great they were this season.
Dudden stepping up again with some room to run inside the 40. Faulkner able to cut his legs out. And Dudden going to pay a heavy price. Looking for those extra yards. He is up there. And the ball came out, but obviously the call comes in quickly. That was caused by the ground as Dudden coming from about 7 or 8 feet in the air. And a timeout on the field, 4:01 remaining. 33-15, the Rustlers on top at the SCFA championship. It's a 1st and 10. So Dudden able to pick up the first down on the run. They have it to the Rustler 32. A fresh set of downs, but the clock more and more becoming the principal enemy for the Bobcats. They're still down 18. Straight drop for Dudden, stepping up. He'll run it once again. Able to slip away from Soleil. That's enough for the first down. Faulkner and Wheeler bring him down, but some late flags come in, and this may cost the Rustlers some more yardage. Awful lot of room in the middle of the field, but you have the feeling that the Rustlers are content if Dudden wants to pick up some yardage running the football, because it is costing the Bobcats some time.
I wonder if this is going to be a sideline offense.
Well, there was definitely some fisticuffs after the conclusion with Wheeler and Faulkner over there fired up.
Jeff, very important right now to keep your composure for the Rustlers, who seemingly right now consider this 33-15 advantage likely to hold. So, Jeff, hold everything, going to go against Saddleback.
Yeah, never
instead.
mind all that. It's Dudden.
Well, Jeff, getting to this point, if you get thrown out of today, you miss next week. That would be huge, obviously. So, composure, a key component at the end of this one in what would be deemed a rivalry game here, Jeff.
Yeah, and indeed, credit to Wheeler and Faulkner, because the composure was there as the penalty is assessed against Dudden on the run. That'll take it back to the 32, where it'll be 1st and 10. 4-man rush. Dudden stepping up. He's going to be sacked. Back at the 38. Blake Vincent, the freshman out of El Dorado High School. And there's an adjustment from the Rustlers, as Dudden had been stepping up and finding running room on the inside after he would step up in the pocket, but that time he found a waiting Vincent who wrapped him up for the sack. Timeout on the field, 3:33 remaining. The Rustlers closing in. They lead it here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. It's a 2nd and 15. And the Rustlers starting to sense it. You have the feeling. 3:33 remaining. But the Bobcats have it in Rustler territory. Looking for a big play. It needs to come quickly now. Blitz coming. Dudden stepping up. Good protection. Picked off. The Rustlers forced the turnover. Down the near side, Faulkner looking for a block at the 10. He's going to go.
Got a flag.
We do have a flag down. This is back at the Saddleback 30, so this will almost assuredly be on the return. The question now is, will Faulkner have the 10th defensive touchdown on the season for this Rustler defense?
Well, you got the 2-minute timeout. You got 1 timeout remaining for Saddleback. Well, no drama in the north, and at this point, seemingly no drama here in the south. I think we have our matchup set for the state championship next week.
So the call against Golden West on the return will take the touchdown off the board. So they are denied that 10th defensive touchdown. But the Rustler defense, it took 57 minutes. The Bobcats doing a great job taking care of the football. But they forced the turnover.
Yeah.
And what could be more fitting than the defense ultimately slamming the door on this one as they get the pressure on Dudden. Faulkner with the interception, had the big play on special teams a week ago. And now the first turnover for either team. And the Rustlers can work on this clock. It's down to 3 minutes. They are on their way to the 3C2A championship game. And in a season that has been seemingly one massive challenge after another, what could be more fitting than maybe the biggest challenge anywhere in the 3C2A waiting for them next week?
San Mateo looking to defend their throne, their title in 2025. Now, the game next week, we will notify everybody, not going to be held here at Golden West. The 3C2A has deemed that this game will happen at OCC, Orange Coast College, at LeBaird Stadium. Should this lead hold, and pretty safe bet that it will.
Yeah, Mitchell with 8 yards on the first down carry. Lowers the shoulder. He's got enough for the first down. And thus far, the Bobcats, who are down to just one timeout, not making any move towards stopping the clock, as the 18-point lead for the Rustlers going to be enough to make the Bobcats wave the white flag here in the ladder going. What a performance by the Rustlers once again. A team, they've had the answers every week, and it would appear one more time. 2-minute timeout, 33-15, Golden West on top. Two-minute timeout. And a 1st and 10 for the Rustlers. Keep it on the ground with Mitchell. Mitchell to the right side, finding some room. He's into the Bobcats secondary.
Flag.
Down inside the 20. There is a flag down.
Another flag.
And another late flag coming in, so a couple of flags down. Mitchell nearly broke it.
I think there was a reason why he nearly broke it.
Yep, that's what we've certainly seen today.
Well, Jeff, Coach Mitchell is always going to coach, and plenty of teaching moments in today's game, which will turn out to be their 12th win of the season. 12-0. What a campaign here in 2025 for Coach Nick Mitchell and the Rustlers.
Well, I'll tell you, based on our conversation this week, Nick Mitchell probably watching right now, and he made the point that while we so often talk about the defense here for the Rustlers, and seemingly every week it's a matchup between a great offense and another challenge for this Rustler defense, he said that it just can't say enough good things about the job they've done offensively all season long, running and passing the football. They've been so efficient offensively, and saying that this year, as much as any year, he's looked forward to having his quick meetings with his defense and then getting back so he can watch his offense play. So he's probably down there right now watching this offense try to close this one out once again. It's been another great performance quietly from this offense. Kamakaviva Ole, another fantastic performance. And what can you say about Tanner Schmidt? They're talking about offensive and defensive player of the game. Is there any way it's not Tanner Schmidt with 8 catches and 165 yards and a touchdown?
And Jeff, I did just want to jump in here. Meredith Randall, president of Golden West College, came on off camera before we went to our interview at the half. Was very impressed with your pronunciation of Oa's name throughout the season. I'm not going to attempt it. I just know what he goes by shortly.
Hey, listen, it took me a month, but I think I got it. I was a little scared the first time I saw it. But, yeah, it's been a challenge, but we appreciate the patience. We hope that we've been getting Oa's name right throughout the season.
And if we haven't, please chime in.
Yeah.
The chat is available. It's open on YouTube. This will be our final broadcast of SCFA football for this season. And, Jeff, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah. As always, my friend. The years have gone by. And, a shout-out very quickly to our great team here that's been here all season long. And
Andrew Steven, Tyson Garcia.
Yeah.
Dwayne Lai.
The visuals and the shots that we've been able to get have been outstanding and have made this that much more fun to watch all season long. And this has been a fun team to watch. And they are on their way to the championship game. And we are going to stay here, I think, just for a few minutes at the conclusion.
Absolutely.
And we're going to want to take you down to the field, give you some of the sounds and the visuals down on the field, as there will be a presentation of the SCFA championship. And ultimately, we want to take you down and capture that moment for these coaches and players that have worked so very hard all season long and about to have a moment that they all richly deserve. Under a minute to go as the clock is moving. Rustlers in victory formation. And after the Bobcats pulled within 8 points early in the third quarter, made a statement that they were here in this second half. Similar to a week ago, it was the Rustlers that answered and answered big, shutting the Bobcats down the rest of the way, tacking on 10 points, and ultimately pulling away for the 33-15 win. It is a final. The Rustlers are on their way to the 3C2A championship game.
Let's go, State. Big dub, that's a dub. Hey, you didn't pick that up, did you? You did it. Come on, baby.
I know it says Northern. Long story. Oh, perfect. Money me! Stadium coming. Stadium loading. Money making minutes.
Announcing the players of the game, defensive player of the game, Drew Faulkner. Big performance in that defensive secondary. And in one of the all-time non-surprises, Tanner Schmidt is the offensive player of the game. Just another incredible performance from Schmidt and also from this Rustler defense, certainly led in large part by Drew Faulkner, who had another big game after his all-conference season. 33-15, and the Rustlers soaking in the moment. And for those that might not be aware, this is the first trip to the state championship game for the Rustlers, and a program that has had so much success as the years have gone by here. Now with a chance to bring home what would be their first football championship. But they'll have to get by College of San Mateo, a winner today in the north. They will make the trip down. So it will be the Rustlers, who have been on top of the SCFA all season long, against College of San Mateo, who perhaps has been on top of the 3C2A for the last couple of years. And what a championship game it will be. It'll happen a week from today.
Great job running the ball at the end right there.
Michael, anything you want to add here as we're wrapping up our season here covering Golden West College football?
Just a lot of thank yous
Yep.
throughout, our coverage here of Golden West College. I want to say thank you again to Director of Operations Tim Bremen, Athletic Director Danny Johnson, who has championed our cause and what we do and how we help, in the recruitment process and really highlights what a great program this is. And again, our hats off and very thankful, very appreciative, very very appreciative and very honored to call and cover what's just been a great school, and they've really built themselves into a powerhouse here in Southern California. We talked about it with President Meredith Randall at half. You did certainly. Talked about, hey, look, men's volleyball, water polo, their 9th straight this year. The women will be playing in the state championship game on Sunday. Just kudos to everybody involved. And, hey, it takes a village. And this is one in the state of California that's, second to none right now.
Well said indeed, and final score of 33-15, and the Rustlers still perfect and looking for one more. That'll wrap up our coverage. Thank you so much for joining us here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Congratulations to the Rustlers on to the state championship. Thanks again, everybody. So long.
Makes it look like the bass with a clipper. Makes it look like the bass with a
Bada dan dan, bada dan, bada dan, bada dan, bada dan, bada dan.